today. So we're going to start with Laura. Laura is going to talk with us about how she uses the app Notability to work with her students. Go ahead, Laura.
Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to share my screen. And using an iPad has been a bit of an adventure for me, so I am still not particularly skilled. Okay, we can see my notes, right? I didn't even have an iPhone. I have an Android. So when I got this iPad, I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. When I took the training, I actually found it really overwhelming. There were so many possibilities. I wasn't sure what to do. And I traditional in how I present course materials. I use my computer to create PowerPoints for lectures. I make handouts, so it's been really hard for me not handing out lots of paper, which is better for the environment, not doing that. So thinking about how to do everything differently, especially without a whiteboard. So this was me, struggling in the fall, trying to figure out how am I going to get what I typically do in a semester presented in a different way and still be able to do the things I want to do, like writing on a whiteboard. And so I actually tested a lot of things out using the iPad. I did not like the PowerPoint app. I found it very glitchy and just did not work well. I really don't know how to use Keynote. I know I learned that over the summer, but it just didn't feel comfortable because I already had everything in PowerPoint, and converting everything time consuming, and it just wasn't working. And then I remembered, I'm going to actually show you, I'm in Notability now. I had, here we go, this whole little thing I did while I took the training over the summer where I learned how to use Notability. And this is like my cheat sheet, like how do I insert content? How do I insert pictures? And so I thought, well, why don't I go ahead and give Notability a try? And I love it. It works so well. And it has made this semester just easier, and everything is just going smoothly. And I'm able to do exactly what I would do without carrying around a big bucket of whiteboard markers and having to clean the board constantly. It's wonderful. So what I do is I import my existing material into Notability. I still work on my computer. I still create all new materials using PowerPoint and Word documents. I found that actually converting some things to PDFs before importing works a little bit more efficiently. In some of my courses, I have diagrams in my notes or statistical formulas. And if I imported directly from PowerPoint, I would sometimes lose some of the formatting or the formulas. So once I figured that out, it made things a lot easier. And now what I can do is present my notes like I am here, and I'm able to, highlight things for my students as I present material. I'm able to take my notes here, underline, circle things. A lot of what actually I couldn't even do with the whiteboard sometimes in some classes. So this actually gave me a lot of flexibility. The work that I do, this is all saved, so I can go back to it if I need it. If I want to share with students, I can export this and create a PDF to put on Blackboard for them. I will note I don't usually do that. I expect students to take their own notes, but sometimes I make special documents for them. So let me show you one of these where I created a note and I did a lot of diagramming. And all this information is in their textbook, it's in their notes, but this was something that I did for them in class. And I just thought it would be nice to export that so they had the PDF with all of these diagrams that they needed for their quiz and exams. So usually I don't share these. They're more for me to present material. Let's see, what else did I want to mention? Oh, one of the other things I've done, and this has been great, I will make screen recordings of answer keys for homework or in statistics to work through problems. Sometimes the students get it while they're in class, but they don't remember all of the steps when they go back to do their own homework assignments. And so I've created tutorials where I sit and I do the worksheet just like I do with them in class, but I make a recording of it. So for example, this will give you an idea of the extent I like to write. This is a statistics problem that I worked through recently with my class. And I can go back, refer to the notes, I can save this, I can share it with students. And this one I didn't make a screen recording for, but often when I'm doing this level of work in writing, I often make a recording of it so I have it stored in case I need it in the future. And just this is another thing that I recently figured out. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't realize I could do this, but I can swipe here and I can keep jumping back and forth between different notes, which is helpful. In statistics, for example, sometimes I want to go from notes to a worksheet, and then my textbook was a PDF book, so I was able to import that into Notability as well. So just this little thing of being able to easily switch back and forth between different notes has just been, I put it down here. That one's a game changer for me. And honestly, I forgot that I could do that. And so when I realized that again, I was super happy. And I don't do a lot of this fun stuff. So you'll see in here, I've got all these cute little notes. So I sort of jazzed this up for the presentation. But there are some cool things like putting in GIFs. I teach a course in learning where we talk a lot about animal training. So it's fun to put in little pictures of actually my own pets or sometimes friends' pets. I don't have a dog. I talk a lot about dog training, and I really shouldn't. I don't have a dog. But it's cool that I could stick in these media pictures, sticky notes. You can also have notes side by side. So if you swipe here, I can bring up, let's bring up my, let's see. Here we go. This is my cheat sheet for how to use Notability. I can bring that up and then work on what I need to work on while referring to my cheat sheet so I can remember how to do everything. I think for me, the hardest thing was remembering, okay, how do I insert content? How do I insert pages, which is really helpful. I can add in extra pages in this document so I can take, like to write, add more notes. This is a really cool feature here, being able to search for content, and you can look. So let me see in here. And I have to remember my magnifying glass isn't here. So let me go back. So if I'm looking for in my statistics course for a particular PowerPoint on a topic, and I've got a lot of stuff in here, I can do a search and look for items related to t-tests, for example. So I just discovered there's a lot of, now I'm out of here. Let's see, I want to go back. And you can see I'm not, an expert on this stuff, but it's really fun to play around with. And making this little cheat sheet has been helpful for me. I showed you a couple of examples from statistics and a diagram from learning. I want to just show you one other thing that's been useful in my research methods course. We read a lot of articles, and I'll go over things with the students and I want to highlight for them. And it's amazing to just be able to do that right here and to come back to it. So this is an article we read at the beginning of the semester, and we took some notes together. So I was able to share this with them. And now they're working on writing papers, and it's nice for me to come back and go, remember We went over the measures used in this document. Remember the table when we highlighted the important pieces of information that we needed. So I use this in all of my classes. Everything now that I create, I turn it into a notes that I am able to annotate, take notes on. And I do this to some extent, typically on the whiteboard, if I could project my materials right onto the whiteboard, but that's not possible in all classrooms on campus. So now that I've figured out how to do this and it seems to work well, I think the students like it. They might not like how much I write, but it's really easy and convenient. And I think I would actually be ready to give up my whiteboard under most circumstances. I don't have, stained fingers. I don't have a sore arm from erasing. And the other thing I'll end with one last thing that I find useful. I can come back to this at the start of class and I don't have to remember or ask the students, did we go over this example or not? Because they can track it based on where I left off. And sometimes I will actually include some notes like I have here. When I finished on Wednesday, I made a note to myself that we didn't get to one of the examples and I wanted to come back to that today. And this is great because I know when I start on Monday, this is exactly where I left off. And it just makes things so much easier for me. So I just wanted to share that with you all. So hopefully that's useful.
Yeah, thank you.
And the other thing, I would recommend playing with it and making your own cheat sheet, or if you want my cheat sheet, I'll share that with you because it's really easy to forget. Like I forgot to just swipe to be able to switch back and forth. And there's other things I didn't show you. You can make nice shapes and, insert all sorts of cool items. So, well, thank you for listening.